Rosie Huntington Whiteley is finally opening up about her life with Jason Statham, and what she reveals might surprise you. Behind the action-packed roles and tough on-screen image is a man who lives a surprisingly quiet and grounded life. From peaceful mornings at home to balancing fame with family, Rosie is sharing a side of Jason that most fans have never seen. But to truly understand who Jason Statham is today, you have to go back to where it all began. Jason was born on July 26, 1967, in Shirebrook, Derbyshire, England. Long before Hollywood fame, his life looked nothing like the glamorous world people now associate with him. He grew up in a working-class family where money was tight, and every day required effort just to get by. His mother, Eileen, worked as a dancer, taking small performance jobs whenever she could. His father, Barry Statham, did everything possible to support the family, working as a coal miner, a house painter, a street vendor, and even singing in pubs for extra income. Jason and his older brother Lee were raised in an environment where hard work wasn't optional, it was survival. Much of his childhood was spent in Great Yarmouth, where his father sold cheap jewelry and perfumes at local street markets. While most kids were busy playing or focusing on school, young Jason stood beside his father, watching closely. He learned how to talk to strangers, how to negotiate, and how to turn a simple product into a convincing story. Those moments didn't just help him earn money, they shaped his personality. He developed confidence, patience, and the ability to read people, skills that would later become surprisingly valuable in his acting career. Selling on the street taught him one powerful lesson early: nothing comes easy, and success must be earned. Life at home wasn't easy either. There were no luxuries, no shortcuts. But instead of feeling limited, Jason became stronger. The challenges around him built a mindset focused on discipline and determination. As a child, he was constantly active. He loved movement, sports, and physical challenges. His father encouraged this energy, once joking that Jason learned to do a handstand before he could properly walk. Fitness quickly became part of his identity. School, however, wasn't always smooth. Like many kids from working-class backgrounds, Jason felt pressure to start earning early. Still, he kept pushing forward, trying to build a future even if he didn't know what it would look like yet. At that time, no one could have imagined that this boy from the street markets would one day become one of the world's biggest action stars. Before acting ever entered his life, another path began to shape his future: competitive diving. As a teenager, sports became his escape and his structure. At the age of 12, he started training seriously at the Crystal Palace National Sports Center. Compared to other athletes, this was considered a late start. Most divers begin at 5 or 6 years old. But Jason didn't see it as a disadvantage. He trained harder. Long hours in the pool, endless repetitions, pushing his body and mind beyond limits. While others had years of experience, Jason made up for it with discipline and relentless effort. Coaches quickly noticed something different about him. He stayed longer than everyone else. Practiced until perfection. Refused to quit. That dedication paid off. He began competing nationally and eventually represented England at the 1990 Commonwealth Games, a huge achievement that proved he was capable of competing at a high level. But like many athletes, his ultimate dream was the Olympics. And then, everything changed. In 1992, Jason narrowly missed a spot on the British Olympic team. The difference came down to a single ranking position. One step away from his dream. After years of training, sacrifice, and focus, it was over. For many people, that kind of disappointment would break them. But Jason responded differently. He didn't complain. He didn't collapse. He accepted it. Quietly. And then he moved on. That moment forced him to rethink his entire life. Diving had defined his identity for years, and now, he had to start again with no clear direction. Soon after, he moved to London, stepping into one of the hardest chapters of his life. There was no plan. No guarantee. Just survival. London was tough. For Jason Statham, life in the city wasn't exciting, it was uncertain and often uncomfortable. He lived in small, cramped apartments, sometimes with broken heating and freezing nights. Money was always a problem, and every day was a struggle to stay afloat. So he went back to what he knew: street selling. Just like his father had taught him, Jason began selling watches, perfumes, and small accessories on busy streets. But this wasn't easy work. It required confidence, persistence, and the ability to convince complete strangers to stop, listen, and buy. Many people ignored him. Some walked away. Every sale had to be earned. But over time, he became good at it. Very good. He learned how to speak with confidence, how to engage people, and how to turn even the simplest product into something desirable. A cheap watch became stylish and reliable. A basic perfume became luxury. It wasn't just selling. It was performance. And without realizing it, Jason was already learning how to act. Even during those difficult years, he never lost discipline. At night, he trained his body, doing push-ups, shadow boxing, and strength exercises wherever he could find space. Those struggles built something powerful inside him: mental toughness. The ability to stay calm under pressure. To keep going when nothing felt certain. And then, everything changed. One day, while training at the Crystal Palace National Sports Center, Jason caught the attention of talent scouts. His athletic build, sharp features, and natural confidence stood out immediately. Soon, he entered the world of modeling. From street vendor to working with major brands like Tommy Hilfiger, Levi's, and French Connection, it was a massive shift. He went from crowded sidewalks to professional studios, surrounded by cameras, stylists, and photographers. But Jason never lost who he was. Modeling gave him exposure, discipline, and opportunity, but it wasn't his final goal. And then came the moment that changed everything. A meeting with director Guy Ritchie. At the time, Ritchie was preparing his film Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. He wasn't looking for polished actors, he wanted real people who understood street life. When Jason walked in, he didn't perform. He just told his story. At one point, he even tried to sell Ritchie a watch, just like he used to on the streets. That moment said everything. Ritchie didn't see an actor. He saw authenticity. Jason was cast in the film and paid around $5,000. It wasn't a huge amount, but it was the beginning of something massive. When the movie released in 1998, it became a success and Jason stood out. Almost overnight, his life changed. He went on to star in Snatch alongside Brad Pitt, gaining international attention. But his true breakthrough came with The Transporter in 2002. This role demanded everything: martial arts, intense action, and real stunts. Jason trained hard and performed many of his own stunts, making his scenes feel raw and real. Audiences loved it. A new action star had arrived. But success didn't mean things became easy. Some films struggled. Critics questioned his range. Hollywood tried to put him in a box. But Jason didn't stop. He kept working. And slowly, he proved himself again and again with films like The Bank Job, The Expendables, Furious 7, and The Meg. At the same time, his personal life was evolving. After several difficult relationships, everything changed in 2010 when he met Rosie Huntington Whiteley. Despite their age difference, they built something rare in Hollywood: a stable, private, and genuine relationship. Rosie has described Jason as calm, grounded, and someone who prefers quiet life over fame. In 2016, they got engaged. In 2017, they welcomed their son. And in 2022, their daughter was born. Fatherhood revealed a completely different side of Jason, a softer, more emotional side that fans rarely see. But behind the success, there were also moments of real danger. While filming action scenes, Jason faced life-threatening situations. During The Expendables 3, a stunt went wrong, and a truck he was driving plunged into the sea after brake failure. He survived by staying calm and relying on his training. Moments like that changed him. They reminded him how fragile life is. And what truly matters. Today, Jason Statham is not just an action star. He's a survivor. A fighter. A father. And a man shaped by struggle, discipline, and resilience. From selling cheap watches on the streets to becoming a global icon, his journey proves one powerful truth: success isn't given, it's built.